On behalf of TVLesson.com, I'm Dylan Schiavone, and I'm a professional guitar player here in South Florida. In this clip, I'm going to show you a very specific technique that I use to teach students how to develop speed from changing from chord to chord. Okay, the most common mistake that I see pretty much every time a new student wants to, when they grab a chord, is they grab it in sequence. So if I'm going to play a G chord, what I most oftentimes see is this: 1, 2, 3. Okay, if they're going to grab an E chord, I see 1, 2. Okay, now you're going to speed up everything that you do if you learn to grab a chord with all fingers at once. Okay, there's no way I can play a chord progression it just wouldn't work. You can't grab each note one after the other. So the technique that I developed is to, let's take a C chord. Okay, if you didn't know, this is a C chord. Okay, now what I'm going to do after I make the chord and I get it as comfortable, and the technique as good as it can be, I'm going to lift my fingers about 2 centimeters off the fretboard. Now, if you're just starting, what you should probably notice, your fingers are going to come together. So without starting again, you're going to spread your fingers like that and get it, each one right above to where you think it's going to be. Take your time. It's important not to rush and want to try to nail them down like that. And when you're confident that you think all the fingers are going to drop on the right string, that's when you drop it. Okay, now we're going to take 2 chords and do this with each of them. So let's take from C to E minor. E minor is very easy because your 2 fingers are pretty much glued together like that. So I do E minor. Now I'm going to go to my C chord, but I'm not going to press any of the notes. I'm going to put the 3rd finger where it needs to go, the 2nd finger, and the 1st finger. And then bam. Okay, because if you notice, every time that I play a chord, when I'm strumming, I make the chord in the air before I ever fret it. For instance, if I go to C, see, my hand has taken on the C shape. Now this is true for bar chords too. I don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I make the chord in the air and I simply plop it down. C, D, E, A minor, looks like that. This is probably the single most important thing you can do for your chord playing. This has been Dylan Schiavone. Thank you for watching.